bunch of offbeat artists, so anything is liable to happen. 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 This is Stanley speaking.
Hi everybody, welcome to our Comic Shop Sunday show. We're really excited to show you what we have added new to our website this week in the way of collectible comics. In case you don't know, my name's Megan.
I'm Jason. We're with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Not just Chattanooga now, but we have our big web store so we can ship all over the U.S. And that's what we're going to be showing you today, the new items that we've added to our website this week. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching there, make sure that you are following us on Instagram and Facebook to get all the updates from us as we continue to do them. And comment, let us know that you're watching, and maybe even share it with a friend. Just do all that stuff for me real quick, and then we can get started. Thanks.
Okay, so what this show is our comic store. We buy a lot of comics. I dare say we probably buy the most in our region. And every week, Megan and I will highlight somewhere around 20 of them, 20 sort of bigger comics that we've put up for sale. A lot of these have just been released as of this morning on our website. So it's not just a sales show. It's also us discussing what's cool about these comics, what's interesting about them, and things of that sort. And if anybody has any questions or comments, we tend to respond to those as well. We're streaming this on several platforms, and this is show number 251. So we've done it a lot of times.
Yes. All right. Well, let's get started.
So let's show the website where we're going to be. So we're over on infinityflux.net. Just go ahead and show that. Okay. All you have to do to follow along with us is go up in the corner and under comics, under collectible comics. It's going to take you to a lot of new stuff, many of which we'll be going over today and we'll be discussing.
All right. Well, let's do it.
Okay. So my first one I'm going to go over, it's Earth X. So this is a series. A lot of you were probably excited way back in late 90s and early 2000s when you read it like me, but there's a lot of spec on this again. We are selling Earth X number 0, number 1/2, the sketchbook, and the entire 13-issue run. The reason this has gotten hot again is because the new Fantastic Four movie, it has been revealed that the Silver Surfer is going to be played by a female character. So possibly instead of Norrin Radd, maybe it's Shia LaBeouf. Well, Earth X, which was a Marvel reimagining, had a female Silver Surfer. So that's her first appearance in this. So people have come out of the woodwork looking for this. Here we have the entire set and a bunch of extras at the best price you're going to find for this quality anywhere around.
All right, the first one I'm going to go over today is this DC Comics Presents number 26. And it's about a mid-grade copy, really important issue at a great price. I think this is one of those very affordable. We always, not joke, but say DC keys are definitely undervalued compared to Marvel stuff. So first appearance of the new Teen Titans, including Robin, Wonder Girl, Kid Flash, Cyborg, Raven, Beast Boy, and Starfire. Great when you get not only one first appearance, but like 6. So $75 for this. You can check out the interior on all of these. You can see the condition. Not only do we try to write it down, but also have the photos for it as well. So that's my first one.
It's always interesting when you have those keys and it has all those first appearances and something so major, but it's not really on the cover. You know, that's a cover I know so well, but it's not because of Superman or Green Lantern. It's the Teen Titans. Okay, I see that Gregory has joined us. Hi, Gregory. Happy Sunday right back at you. So the next one that I will be going over is, I have 2 different ones to do next. So 2 different sets. First is Transformers, not the Marvel series. This is the IDW series that came later, but it is Transformers Robots in Disguise 1 through 56 and the annual. So we've listed near complete set, and it's about as near as it gets. It's only missing 1 issue. So it is basically the entire run of this. I never see this run together. This came from a single collector who diligently collected all these. They were lightly read, if at all. You know how it is. You collect stuff. You try to read it all, but do you really have time to get to it all? So here's the entire series of that. And then I have another set I want to do next. Not a robot exactly, but somebody who looks much like a robot. It is ROM number 1 through 75, the complete series. So sure, you see some of these issues scattered in dollar bins here and there, but the entire run, very hard to find. Some of those late ones are real hard to find. This has a lot of neat little first appearances, like Rogue, not a first appearance, but she has her second appearance in this. I think issue 31 is when Rogue appears. She's on the cover. Rom is an interesting character. He was an alien on his planet. They all look humanoid. And there was this great evil that came. And so they're like, hey, we're going to make you sort of a cyborg, but we'll save your human parts. Like when the threat's over, we'll have all your legs and arms. And so he was the first to volunteer and say yes. And that's what made him into the Space Knight. And of course, after that threat, there was more. And I don't think he ever got his arms and legs back, sadly. Rom was actually based on a toy. It was one of those things where they had a toy designed, and then they made the comic after. And the original toy was named COBOL, COBOL, which was a computer language. Well, Parker Brothers, they're like, no, nobody knows this COBOL, but this new like ROM thing. That's a thing. Do you know what ROM stands for?
No.
Random access memory.
No, because O is not access.
Oh, wait, that's RAM. Well, close enough.
Garrett, what does ROM mean?
But anyhow, here's the entire set of ROM.
Okay, that's funny. My next thing that I'm going to go over is all these X-Files sets. So who here was an X-Files fan?
There we go. Bumpkins knows.
Random access memory. No.
Yeah, I'm with Bumpkins on this.
That is not it.
There it is. It's discovered.
Oh yeah, I can't open new tabs. Anyway, multiple X-Files series here. So X-Files, the show, started in 1993, and the comics started coming out, I believe, a couple years later, in 95, as they are wont to do. So we got a few different complete sets here, including this one from IDW, and this was from 2016, 1 through 17, plus some extras. Then we also have this Case File Florida Man. Can't miss Florida Man. Right there, more affordable. So we run the gamut here with X-Files, and another expensive one, seasons 10 and 11 complete. I was reading about X-Files. I was much more of a Twilight Zone fan. Not that they came out anywhere near the same time, but I don't know. I had trouble getting into X-Files, but I was reading some interesting things about it. I always wanted to because I love the premise. But that it was one of the first TV shows where it started out as a kind of a cult following, but it definitely grew. It's, a major cultural touchstone today, but its growth kind of happened coinciding with the internet. So just, the internet was happening at the same time. Words getting out. Interesting time period there.
Well, it got cooler and cooler to be a nerd and to be in the nerdy thing. So, they all love X-Files, and then they could spread it through the internet and email, and then eventually blogs, and then everybody was more into it. So the next one that we're going to go over, it's Marvel Spotlight number 32. This is first appearance of Spider-Woman, the original. There have been more than one. It is Jessica Drew's first appearance. And I love on this cover, she's so aggressive. Like, she's just going after Nick Fury. She's like,
wham! Yeah,
it's back when covers had it where you could speak, the characters would speak on the cover. And she's basically like, I'm going to murder you. I'm going to kill you. Funny enough, one of the small bits of damage on this one is his hand. It has like a little scratch on it. It's kind of right there, but it goes off the hand. But I like to think that Jessica Drew is the one who did this. Another thing we like talking about other than comics is movies. And I read a thing lately where Samuel L. Jackson was saying when he did the Die Hard sequel with Bruce Willis, Willis was like, hey, you always have to have a character you can go back to, even if you do movies people don't like, a character you can come back to that everyone likes. And he's like, John McClane is my character. You got to find yours. Mm-hmm. Well, Samuel L. Jackson a few years back was saying, it's Nick Fury. He finally figured it out. He's like, I took Bruce Willis's advice, and Nick Fury's that character I can always go back to that just people kind of like, even if I'm in something that they don't like.
Yeah.
Fun facts we give on the show. Fun facts.
Oh, Garrett said that but Garrett, I need to know what ROM means. None of us know. We're not going to look it up. We're going to wait to hear from you. Okay, so my next thing is this Spider-Verse. ROM means read-only memory.
On the
Okay.
tip of my brain from 1982.
I gotta say, that's not a very exciting superhero name. Read-only memory. Thank you, Garrett. We needed you. You're the real hero today. Okay, my next thing is this awesome Spider-Verse set. We tried to sell these individually, but no, let's lump them all as a set. So a few different variant covers here featuring Spider-Gwen, really pretty Greg Horn variants. So normally more expensive if you were to buy them each individually on their own. So this is $90 for the set of 3. You can see the variants there and the keys. And these are in great condition. Obviously, no one read these. They were bought to collect. So if you are into rare Spider-Gwen, Spider-Verse variants, check that one out.
If you like Spider-Gwen shushing you.
Yeah.
Telling you shh. Okay, so let's see. My next one is Batman number 244. So this is not first Ra's al Ghul, but this is definitely a very iconic cover. So much cool stuff on this cover, except that Batman has gotten beat down. I mean, first off, Ra's al Ghul being like, yeah, I might look like a silver fox, but I'm still cut. Like I am ready to fight. Next, Batman, he's already lost on the cover. I like how the sword in the sand, it almost implies like a sword in Batman, if you look at the angle that they did it at. And then next, he's not only beat Batman, but he's humiliated him. He's taken the outfit. You know, I mean, presumably Batman took it off to fight. I don't think he took it off later. Anyhow, very iconic, awesome cover with Ra's al Ghul. This issue also includes, I think, Batman and Talia al Ghul's first kiss. Mm-hmm. And we talked a while back when we had Talia al Ghul's first appearance on the show about who is now sort of more important, her or her father. And I suggested actually she was because of the relationship. Yeah. And that kind of got started in this issue.
Okay, my next one is keeping it in the Spider family. I'm going to do both these together. This is Spider-Man 298 and 299. They are sold separately, but we're going to go over them together here. So for 298, we have the first cameo appearance of Venom. I believe this is the one where his hand is like creeping across one of the panels. And this is the first Todd McFarlane on Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. So really iconic for multiple reasons here, especially because Todd McFarlane is about to introduce Venom with all this stuff. So these covers, even though they're put not in the right order, they do kind of go side by side. So they're great to have and display together. 299 is kind of that similar Hulk 180, 181, Gambit controversy thing of what is a cameo, what is the first appearance. And Todd McFarlane, he said, I always thought that this was the first appearance and not Amazing Spider-Man 300, but do with that what you will. Get them all. Why not just... It's an excuse to have them all. So these are in great condition. This one is very fine to near mint. You can check out the condition on there. And obviously I need to change that because that was at $298. So,
typo.
Yeah, right there. And I think starting next week, we're going to be bringing some even bigger books on the show. We're not done yet, but...
Spider-Gwen style.
Next week, you may start to see some things like Amazing Spider-Man 300. And I'm currently working on renovating our website so that it's just going to be a lot more epic. Let's just say that. So hopefully I can get that done soon.
My comment about those issue covers that McFarlane did is, so later McFarlane is famous for saying that kids love chains. Yes. You know, that's what he did with Spawn. But I think he had a theory before that, which was kids love gun lines, like bullet trails. Because, I mean, there are very few comics that have as many bullet trails as those two in a row. And it's pretty effective. But I think later he was like, nah, chains. That's the way to go.
Yeah, I don't want to draw bullet hole lines.
Okay, so next up is X-Men number 28, a very, very early Silver Age X-Men issue. And you know, with these Silver Age ones, they introduce major characters. This is the first appearance of Sean Cassidy, otherwise known as Banshee. He was always portrayed a little bit older than the other X-Men. I think he was supposed to be about 10 years older than them. He was really not a member of the full team for long. And of course, in this, he starts out as the villain. I was reading about how Roy Thomas is one of the creators of Banshee. And originally he wanted the character to be a female. And Stan Lee was like, nah, because the way we're introducing this character, it's going to be a whole team fighting this one character. And I just think it's going to look bad to have the whole X-Men team just up against one girl. So Stan Lee was like, let's make it a guy. And thus we have Sean Cassidy. So that's your X-Men 28 Banshee story from me.
It's weird to be both a gentleman and underestimate women at the same time.
Well, then later on, they just had to make them more powerful, like the Phoenix,
I get it. I did want to mention one other thing about $2.99 that I saw was interesting. This comic is featured in Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, the movie, read by, who's reading it? Jeff Conaway's character in that movie. So, funny story.
That's neat.
Next one up from me is, and don't miss some of these that we're bypassing here, like this strange.
Yeah, we don't have time to go over all of them.
But
we just hit some of them.
Yeah, I'm going over this TMNT number 5. I posted a few weeks ago. We had TMNT 2, 3, and 4 original issues. Well, number 5, they start to shrink down in size a little bit, and this is from 1985. A great condition copy, early issue of TMNT, low print run as they all are, and a wraparound cover as they all are as well. So, $75 for TMNT number 5 for all you early Turtles collectors.
I love that early Eastman and Laird art.
This looks like Chattanooga. This looks like a Chattanooga skyline situation happening here.
I missed that battle. Okay, so my next one, we're going to be going to page 2 for me now. It is a Golden Age issue of Action Comics. Action Comics number 152. So this is not necessarily a key issue other than it's a Superman, DC book back from 1951. Those don't walk through the door every day. It's in, fairly good condition, all things considering. But nothing, there's no major first appearance or anything like that. I will say it's got Superman and Lois on the cover. They're getting some rest the way I would like to do it at some point. Get in the nice, 1,000-year sleep. I could use that. So if you know anybody who's looking for some Golden Age Action Comics, here is this issue. Very difficult to find, and that is why the price is what it is. But I promise you, if you look around, it is a very fair price for this.
And Jake's asking if we're both from Chattanooga. I basically am. I'm from a town that's 15 minutes away from here. And then I moved around a lot, but I always stayed within an hour of Chattanooga pretty much. So, yes, I basically am.
I grew up in a suburb of Chattanooga called Ottawa.
All right. My next thing is the iconic. We need another word for iconic, okay? I need to get the thesaurus out. But the iconic Hulk 340, they actually just reprinted a 3D homage of this week as a new release. So not going out of style. From 1988, a slightly above mid-grade copy for Hulk 340. And apparently we got into a Todd McFarlane collection this week because another Todd McFarlane cover. Really creative in having Hulk and Wolverine's claws right here. There's a reason it is expensive and sought after. So check it out and check out the notes on it as well. Not a perfect copy, but definitely solid.
This has always been an iconic cover, but it has gone up more in the last 2 years than usual. This is one of the covers that's risen really fast lately, and I don't think it's ever going to come back down. It's just a lot of people's favorite cover, or in their top 10 at this point. Okay, so my next one, this is a nice biggie. It's Amazing Spider-Man number 238, first appearance of the first Hobgoblin, who is Ned Leeds. Sorry for the spoiler. I know not everybody's caught up to 1983 yet. So the other cool thing about this, it does include the tattoos. Now I know most of you know what I'm talking about, but for anybody who doesn't,
it does include them.
I said it. You're just hearing me wrong. I'm speaking fast. It does include the tattoos. So what that means is this issue, I think there was one other. I think there's a Fantastic Four also. They did a promotion where they put a a non-permanent tattoo in for kids. Well, guess what kids would do? They would use these. They would tear them out. We've got this book in many times over the years, and it almost never has the tattoos.
Yeah.
We have had some with the tattoos, but I would say 3 out of 4 don't, because, you're a kid. It's back in the early 80s. Yeah, you're going to use that. And that's what makes this one worth even more and more difficult to find.
Yeah, and you can even tell, like, we've definitely had some in the past. I don't know if you can tell in this photo, but if you hold it up to the light, you can see there is the little tattoo in there. And some of them will have the insert, but not the tattoo itself. So.
And now you can use the tattoo.
Yes.
Only, 40 years later.
And eat the gum in your card packs. All right, next up for me is War Comics number 2. So this is from 1951. I got a couple old Golden Age books here. This is from Atlas Comics, and it was part of their line of genre comics, along with romance, drama, sci-fi, crime, and war. Double war. War comics. Get double your war here. So 3.5, you can check out the condition. If you're a Golden Age collector or a genre collector like this, it's a good one to pick up.
Yeah, I thought that was funny when it came in, just the extra war on it.
Yeah.
I just, you know what? I missed one a little while back. We're going to go back to page 1 real quick. I had 2 I was supposed to do together. This one's pretty cool, pretty quick though. So we're also selling X-Men 300 through 302, all signed by John Romita Jr. Now, although there is not a COA, this came from a collection we bought where the person had put into it this, I guess I have to click it to.
Yeah.
Yeah, this handout from the convention they went to in '94. So I think it is very likely they got this signed by Romita when they were at that convention, as he signed it '94 on every single one of them. And you really can't beat $20 for 3 signed X-Men books. I wanted to make sure everyone saw this one. Okay, so the one I was going to go over next, which is a huge left turn from that, it is the Devil's Rejects comic. Okay, so many of you know Megan and I were horror movie fans. The Devil's Rejects is the second movie by Rob Zombie about the Firefly family, a bunch of crazy serial killers. It all started out with House of a Thousand Corpses, which pretty much put Rob Zombie on the map as the director that he is today. So this comic was put out by Lionsgate Film. You can see the LGF symbol on it. There are not a lot of these floating around. I think this is maybe the second one that's come in the 10 years that we have been buying stuff. And that is why $35 is a good price, even though this one has some spine dings. It follows 3 of the characters in different stories: Captain Spaulding, Otis, and Baby, who has that voice, that laugh.
Sherry Moon Zombie.
Yeah, Sherry Moon Zombie. So for you horror fans and comic fans out there, I'm really happy to bring this one to the show. I don't think we'll get another one for another few years.
Yes, and Frankie says the climax of that movie with the Freebird song is epic. I agree. There are so many songs in that movie. I think it's Slim Whitman. Is that his name? I can never hear those songs without thinking of images from that movie.
Yeah, Megan likes House better, and I like Devil's Rejects a little better, but we both really like, both of them.
My next one is Only for Men. Band Comics 12 from 1951. If you want to boost up your testosterone, read this comic right now. So another war comic. This one from 1951, mid-grade, general wear. So again, more war stories, even though it's Men at War. So another one there.
Are you sure it's not red? Man.
Never thought of it that way. So again, a couple that I was showing you right now: War and Man comics, some Golden Age genre books.
And again, I actually bought those. They came in, and I bought the War comics. I'm like, wow, this is just called War. But then I got to Man comics. I was like, it's just called Man comics.
Yeah,
that's the first one I've seen from that series.
And again, just a reminder: if you guys are just like Golden Age collectors, you can filter it here and just pull up that stuff. We're going over the newest stuff added. So we're going to actually take a trip to page number 4 real quick. That's where you're at, right?
Yeah.
And the reason is I scheduled these to come out when we were away on our trip, and they got buried a little bit. So we're going to go. I'll let Jason go first.
Okay, so next one, we've sold many, many sets of these on our show, and I'm sure we'll continue to. It is Marvel Comic Presents number 72 through 84. Why is this so significant? Because this is the Weapon X storyline. This is Wolverine's origin through the whole Weapon X thing, which is just such a great story. It was done by Barry Windsor Smith, who, of course, had previously done the great Conan run. And, I mean, he's just good at telling a really hard-hitting, messed-up tale. And that's exactly what this is. We have people come in our store asking for this all the time. And so whenever I can, I try to put a set together, or somebody brings in one and missing a couple issues. I usually put them aside until I find those issues, because I think this should be read and collected all together. So it's the entire Weapon X run, which is 72 through 84 right here today.
And I got a comment on our Instagram. Somebody said they picked up the Batman 423 from us the other day, asking if we had a different version. Send me a DM and I will check. I definitely have more copies of Batman 423. That's the Living Cape cover for you guys who don't know. Thank you for picking that up from us, by the way. And then next up for me, I am doing this set of... All right, Batman 365 through 368, the first Red Hood, and this was inked by Tom Nguyen, who many of you around here know. He has visited our shop before. These are lightly read, great condition copies, first appearance of Red Hood, and his identity revealed in this set. Some really beautiful artwork in this as well, so if you are into that, don't miss it. And Matt was saying the BWS art in the Marvel Comics Presents is gorgeous. Couldn't agree more. All right, now we are going to take a trip to our graded comics section. You can either find that by going to the homepage or go down to comics here, go to graded comics. We added quite a few this week, so you can see everything here. Again, you can filter to your favorite characters. Jason, you can go.
Okay, so we're selling... Oh, how prices have changed, how prices have fluctuated. We're selling Spider-Man number 7. This is the Ramos variant. First appearance of Spider-Boy and first cover appearance in the same book at a 9.8. It is now settled back to $50.
This was the spoiler variant, I believe, right? So we didn't know what the cover looked like at first?
I think so. I believe so. So this was selling for way more. I think this was selling for like maybe $200 in its heyday. But Spider-Boy's been out for long enough, and you know, nothing real major's happened in a minute, so it has settled down. I'm sure more will occur with this character. So here's your chance to get it at the best price you can get it for anywhere.
All right, I'm going over this couple of Venom books here. So Venom number 7, this is the first cameo of Dylan Brock. I have a couple different versions here. This variant, I think they're both 9.8. Yes. So this variant right here, which is really cool. Need to take a slightly better picture, but the glare is real all the time. You can't escape the glare.
Boy, you didn't even take the bag off that thing when you took your picture.
So 2018 for that one. And then same here. First cameo of Dylan Brock.
At least you know they come with a bag.
They're very protected.
Yeah, I mean, they're 9.8, so, you know.
I'm already new now.
Okay, so I think the last thing we're going over today is I have 2 different copies of Avengers number 48, whatever fits your budget. So the first one, it is a 4.5. This, of course, is the first time Dane Whitman becomes Black Knight. So I think he is kind of there's been several Black Knights. I think there's been 3, maybe 4 of them. I think there's 3, and then also his daughter Jax at this point. But I'd say the main Black Knight is Dane Whitman, the one that people know the most, who's been in the most things, was in the movie, was in Eternals. So here's a 4.5 copy for $90, or we have another copy that's higher grade. We have a 6.0 for $125.
All right. Well, that is everything we're going over on our collectible comics stuff.
Certainly not everything we have, though.
if you guys are interested, you can check out the newest releases here. And this is stuff that is coming out this upcoming Wednesday. We typically get our shipments on Friday, and that way we can upload them to the website that same day. Unfortunately, this week, DC is huge. I think almost all shops are experiencing a delay in their shipment. So our shipment won't be here till tomorrow, or maybe Tuesday, actually.
We'll have it on the shelf by Wednesday.
But we'll have it on the
yeah.
up on the website. Anyway, you can check out the new releases right there, including ratio incentives and all that. It's a good way to, if you can't make it in on Wednesday, or if you want to make sure that you get a copy of a comic that you know is going to be popular, all the Absolute stuffs, for example, Scotty Young covers, whatever. If you want to make sure they don't sell out, that's a good way to grab them. And then we have a whole team of people always working on processing new action figures, video games, music. So check out our website.
We sell all the cool stuff. Music, movies, pretty much everything I loved growing up and still love to this day.
Yes, and if you want to subscribe, you can hit this, new customers, create your subscription. So you can subscribe to new series that are coming out. All right, well, that's all that we have for you today. Again, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. This is a bit of a shorter show, so if you want more from us throughout the week, make sure to follow us in those places. We really appreciate it. It's our whole lives, so if you take the time to follow, we really appreciate it.
Yep, our lives, our careers, and we're very happy for those of you who have tuned in when you can through 251 shows. We'll begin preparing for our next show, 252. And as Megan said, we have a lot of big things that we're going to be bringing. We've already been bringing some big stuff, but even bigger things.
Yes.
So thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next Sunday.
See you then.